Okay, we're recording again. All right, hello. This is the hangout where we discuss and experiment with the AI as game master for solo play. This is the regular. This is actually ChatGPT Plus, and this is a project with project memory only activated. The source file is the traveler skill list, and if you go here to project settings, the instructions are the prompt for making the adventures. I'll make these available later. Um, let's see. So we're ready actually to start our game, and we're gonna, due to popular demand, try a traveler bureaucrat. So we're gonna tell it roll up a traveler bureau. Yeah. Thankfully, it's pretty forgiving if you misspell things. Oh, look, here's my here's a problem right away. This name comes up all the time. Dr. Voss. Uh, I have a character. I was just, trying to look for random names, and I asked it, and I was like, "Oh, Voss sounds fun." So I chose it for my character, and now I see it everywhere, and here it is again. So what's happening here is if you don't fill in what you want from the AI, it just finds the average of what it knows about. And so this name Voss must be in its in its training data somewhere. Another thing I notice is it wants to send us to Epsilon Prime all the time. And if I'm running a fantasy game, it always puts us in the land of Eldoria. Yeah, so, and it was funny 'cause, the GM of one of the games I'm playing in, was also using, a random, uh, sci-fi name generator and came up with Voss there as well. So, it's not a problem, just a weird artifact. Uh, we can actually get into the, prompt and, reduce this, like, say tell it not to go so, what do I wanna say, cliche or I don't know. Okay, here's our characteristics with the modifiers. It looks like it is accurate. This is a high functioning paper pusher. Not physically impressive. Let's see. Admin 2, advocate, diplomat, persuade, investigate, carouse. Um, here's some gear for us. Secure data pad, Imperial credentials, portable document scanner, some fine clothing for civil service, $10,000 in the bank. We have a starport administrator who's friendly to us, but we have a corporate compliance officer who's down our neck. Um, so they cut through red tape. They know how to bribe, threaten, or charm, and can weaponize regulations. All right. Physically fragile, relies on systems and leverage, can be out of depth in raw combat. All right, the missing manifest. The shipment exists in records, but nowhere else. Someone falsified the cargo chain. Permit blackmail. A noble house is operating illegally and has leverage on Voss, or an audit go wrong. Uh, which of these would we like to play? I'll leave it up to the audience because I can play these any old time.
I think number 3 has the best potential for going terribly wrong.
Audit gone wrong. Okay. Okay. I'm just reading these. Okay. Don't do the full life path generation. We already have a character. Unless we want to do that. We've already I don't know. Do you want to do that again or should we just continue with our adventure?
Well, what I'm curious about, when we tell the AI 3-act structure, how
Hmm.
much of it is predetermined on rails, or does it just run from an outline?
It doesn't do any of those things. It evaluates what it's done so far and then decides if the first act has been completed.
Oh, okay. So more dynamic.
Mhm. Yeah, it doesn't have, like, a scratch pad or, like, a memory of, like, or an idea of what it's gonna do. There are ways to give it those things, but you have to do that through programming. Um, what the AI is, in this case, gonna completely rely on is the chat history. So if you don't talk about like, if you look at some stuff in your pockets, and then you don't talk about it for a while, and you talk about other stuff, and it's going down, down, down the chat. If you ask about it again, it can, and it's still within the chat context, it can retrieve that and tell you, oh, you had coins or whatever in your pocket. If those things fall off the end of the chat history, then it doesn't know, and it'll just make up some new stuff in your pockets. So that's why you you might notice some drift, and we'll talk about how to mitigate that afterwards. But keep an eye out for that, and keep an eye out for um, the scenario going through, because the scenario is going to be like tailored to what we do. So let's just go ahead and start. We're gonna do number three, audit go wrong. Make this into a 3-act adventure and begin. So this is the outline now. This is something new. I haven't seen it do before. It's actually telling us what its plan is. So as long as this plan stays, and it looks like it's being very general here. Let's look at this. So in the first act, we're going to discover the corruption. If we succeed, identify falsified records. If we fail, the evidence disappears. So that's going to be interesting. So this is the plan. Now, as long as this stays on the in the chat history, it will remember it. Um, otherwise, yeah, this is a very interesting setup. Normally, it just starts you in the middle of a scene. Um, let me back up. Let me make it do that. All right. Here we go. Regina Downport Administrative Complex. Current scene, Records Office 3B. Complete routine cargo audit. Oh, it sounds so interesting. Resolved a flag discrepancy. All right. We have two NPCs, the records clerk and the audit manager. Offsite. All right. We're at our terminal workstation. We have a data pad, some Imperial credentials, no active threat. Okay, so this is something you might want to do in your own prompt, is have it summarize what just happened, so that after each move there's a summary that kind of includes what came before, so it stays updated more often and doesn't drift as bad. So let's just play this out and see. Okay, scene one. The terminal hums softly as columns of cargo data scroll past. Routine imports, routine exports, nothing remarkable until one entry repeats across 3 different docks at the same second. Lira leans back in her chair without looking up. System hiccup, been there all week. You can clear it if you want. No one's chasing it. The shipment tag resolves. Origin unlisted. Content sealed. Status processed all at once. What do you do? We have to determine whether the anomaly is an error or an internal falsification. Hmm. Do you want to go and investigate the cargo directly, or do we need to use our skills to do something? Let's look at our character sheet. Okay. Now, one of the things you could do here is actually like copy this and make it a source document so that the project can see it going forward. The only problem is the inventory. So what you would want to bring is like your skills and your stats. Those are things that probably aren't going to change much over the course of the game. Okay, so the duplicated cargo record sits on your screen. Impossible and quietly wrong. So the coworker's already dismissing it. What do we do?
Well, have to investigate for sure.
All right, so how are we going to investigate? Are we going to
Does the
go to physically lay eyes on the cargo, or are we going to search for more documentation in the computer or some other idea?
character have any computer forensics capability?
That would be um, administrator.
Well, between electronics and administration and investigation,
Hmm.
that would seem the logical route before hitting the pavement.
All right, let's. What do we want to know? When did it come into the system? Or where was it last checked, or we just want to see what it comes back with?
That seems good. Let the AI determine what it finds.
Okay. You isolate the shipment and begin peeling back its data layers, timestamps, routing logs, and authorization keys. Check some trails. At first glance, it's clean, too clean. The timestamps aren't just identical, they've been synchronized across subsystems that never agree that precisely. All right. Attribute. Okay, so here's our first action resolution. Investigate. We're going to use our investigate skill. We get a +1. We got a +1 for we get +1 for our intelligence, +1 for investigate skill. We have another skill that's providing support, so it's giving us a +1. All right, so we're detecting falsification in cargo records. Roll a 2d6 and then tell me the result. This is, by the way, a widget on Google. If you just go to Google and you type roll 2d6, you'll get this widget, and then you have all these different choices of dice or custom dice down here. So we got an 8. All right. Plus our modifiers, we got an 11. So we got decisive. All right, the audit trail fractures under scrutiny. 3 separate subsystems, custom dock control and cargo routing, show matching timestamps, but their authorization signatures don't align. Someone injected a false record and forced system-wide agreement. You trace the override key. It's not random. It belongs to a restricted administrative credential tier above your clearance. Lira glances over again, slower this time. You still on that? Her tone is casual, but her eyes flick briefly to your screen, then away. The record is deliberately falsified. It required high-level credentials. The shipment origin is intentionally masked. System shows a gap of 17 seconds of missing audit history. The terminal flickers briefly. A small system notice appears. Audit query logged for review. Uh-oh. Someone or something is now aware of your investigation. um, all right. We still have to complete the audit. Okay. An unknown system oversight is monitoring my queries. Okay. Identified false. Okay. Detected high-level credentials. Query. All right. Dig deeper into the missing 17 seconds. Question Lira. Pull back the mat and mask your activity, or escalate to supervisor, or something else. These are just suggestions.
Uh, This is good. I like this because it's not running you on rails. It's almost kind of like a choose your own adventure, saying these are the paths you can go down.
Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's beyond that, right? So it's like pick your path to adventure, but on turbo, because not only do you have the predetermined options that seem obvious at this point, right? That's what it's showing us with those 4 options, but it's open to any other option. I can go get a cup of coffee or spill coffee on the terminal and go, oh no, I short circuited my terminal, and or whatever. I mean, it's totally open to you, and then the game's going to respond. So, do we want to do one of these options, or do something else?
I see. This is where a wisdom stat would come in handy.
You could use your education. Take an educated guess.
Honestly, I think this guy is risk adverse and
It's
will
going to go by the
probably
book.
well,
Escalate, you
well
think?
probably mask his activity
Oh, okay.
and then go around using a different technique. Maybe
Okay.
try to social engineer the problem.
All right. You slow your inputs, backing out of the deeper audit layers and returning to routine cargo logs, letting the anomalous record scroll off screen. The system prompt still lingers in memory. Your access was noted. All right. Make another investigation for defensive concealment. All right. 2d6. Here we go. Normalize our audit and avoid scrutiny with a 7. Normalize your workflow, closing flagged queries, rerunning standard audit scripts, and inserting routine verification steps to pad the activity log. The system settles, no follow-up alert appears. Your flagged query is now buried inside a stack of mundane audit traffic, but a delayed system message quietly resolves in the corner. Supervisor review deferred. Not canceled, just postponed. All right. Lyra exhales faintly, like she's been holding some tension you didn't notice before. See, she says, still not looking at you. It's just a glitch. But now you catch it. Her console is mirroring audit alerts, and she definitely saw yours get flagged. You're no longer immediately flagged. Your activity is logged but obscured. Lyra is aware something happened. The system escalated and delayed. All right. The room feels smaller now. Routine noise, terminal glow, nothing overt, but the situation has shifted. Do we want to quietly question Lyra and try to read her reaction? We want to return to the anomaly more carefully. Check other records for patterns, or log it as resolved and walk away. Or we can still bring it up to our supervisor. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. It depends on if we think we want to like go by the book or just like be off hands or what. What are we doing? What are our moves now?
Lira is involved, and so definitely need to ask her what is going on. Probably being diplomatic about it.
So what's going on? All right. You lean back slightly, voice low enough to stay between the terminals. So, what's going on? Lyra freezes for half a second. Not confusion, not surprise, but calculation. She slowly turns her chair towards you, eyes narrowing just a fraction. I told you, system glitch. A beat, then quieter. You should let it be. Hmm. You're probing for the truth beneath her response. All right, roll 2d6 with persuade. 9. We've been getting good rolls so far. Lyra's expression holds, then cracks just slightly. Her eyes flicks to the room's ceiling, the cameras. She leans closer, voice barely above a whisper. It's not a glitch. That record shows up every few days. Different shipment ID, same pattern, same gap. She swallows. People who dig into it get reassigned, or worse, they stop coming back to this office. She pulls back quickly, louder now. Just clear it and move on. That's what everyone does. Okay, so we find out it's a recurring falsification. She knows more than she wants to admit, and whoever else investigates disappears or has been removed. Uh, Her terminal pings. She stiffens. Supervisor Halvik returning to office. ETA 10 minutes. She mutters under her breath, "You don't have much time." Supervisor Halvik is incoming. Unknown status. Lira is fearful and cooperative, quietly cooperative. The supervisor is coming in 10 minutes. Ongoing hidden system oversight. Confirm recurrent. Okay. Pressure point. Possible actions. Okay. Push Lira for more. Dive into the 16-second gap now. Search for other matching records. Set a trap or copy data before Halvik arrives, or play it safe and mask everything.
Oh,
Or something else.
I like the set a trap option. Yeah, it says if it turns out Halvik is corrupt, then it says, promotion the Klingon way.
So we'll do set a trap.
Sure.
What kind?
Hmm. Oh, that's a tricky one.
Let's do this. GM. What kind of trap could I set? Audit bait. You're trying to force a system to reveal themselves. Okay. Create or modify a harmless cargo entry so that it looks like you found something and triggers the same. See if it triggers the same response. Okay. An audit escalation flag. Flag the record for formal review. Shadow copy and silent alarm. Clone the data and set a trigger if it gets modified. Set a social trap using Lira. Have Lira accidentally mention someone is digging into the controls and then see who reacts. Canary record.
That actually is a sensible course of action. Use
This
the
one, create
system
or
against
modify a
itself.
harmless cargo entry, and then see who accesses it.
Yeah. Use the system against itself.
Okay. Supervisor's arriving in about 10 minutes. You subtly reopen the anomalous record just enough to touch it without triggering the same alert profile. A minor correction, a timestamp nudge, a perfectly reasonable audit note. Then beneath that, you embed a trace condition. Any access to this record will quietly echo to your datapad. Clean and visible, bureaucratically boring. Okay, step 1. Oh, look, it's going to give us a multiple step thing. Oh, awesome. It's never done this before. All right, let's do that. Step 1. Step 1 is 7. Oops. Okay, record constructed. The modification slides cleanly into the system. Your audit note reads as routine, unremarkable, exactly the kind of low priority correction that gets processed automatically but still requires back-end reconciliation. More importantly, it forces the hidden process to retouch the record. It looks like minor bureaucratic fix, not an investigation. All right, now we need to do step 2. Okay. Step 2 is a 6. Embed the hook. All right. Your trace hook embeds, but not perfectly. The system resists in subtle ways, like someone already occupies that space. You manage to attach a trigger, but it's fragile. It may only fire once, and there's a chance it gets noticed if somebody looks closely. Still, it's in. Moments later, you return to a neutral screen. Lira pretends to work. The room hums. Then, your data pad vibrates once. The trap triggered. Access detected. Not minutes later, seconds. The data packet mirrors onto your data pad. Access source internal node unlisted. Clearance level administrator. Process type automated but not standard. Then a fragment of routing data leaks through before the connection cuts. Destination sublevel archive node B7. All right. Well, we got a trace. At the same moment, Lyra's console flashes red. She goes pale. You need to stop right now. Footsteps echo in the corridor outside. Okay. Lira is afraid and urgent. We need to reach archive node B7 or avoid detection. Supervisor Halvik, the manager, is arriving now. Supervisor is intimate. System has reacted to your trap. Unknown entity. All right. What do we want to do? Ask Lyra how to reach B7. Leave immediately towards B7. Stay and bluff through the supervisor or wipe your involvement further. Footsteps stop just outside the door. The handle begins to turn. What do we do?
Well, it's obvious that Lyra has set up her own triggers, but she's, I think, being very defensive. So probably best to leave her out of it because she's probably leaning towards panic.
Mm-hmm.
So probably head to B7. Maybe say something to Lyra like, Yeah, you're right. I'm going to go out and get some coffee, and then
I tell Lira I have to go get some coffee. I'll be right back. Then lean closer and whisper, "Which way to section B7?" Push your chair back just enough to look casual. "I'm going to go grab some coffee. I'll be right back." Then you lean in, voice dropping to a whisper, "Which way to B7?" Lyra doesn't answer immediately. The door handle clicks. She grabs a stylus and taps her screen twice, bringing up a maintenance diagram, then rotates it towards you like she's showing a workflow chart. Her lips barely move. "Sublevels, service lift at the end of the hall. B7 is restricted. Badge won't work." A beat. "Use the stairs after level B2. Cameras are lighter there." She snaps the screen back just as the supervisor arrives. The door opens. Supervisor Halvik steps in, mid-50s, precise uniform. I was already scanning the room. "Voss, I saw a query flag." One sentence flat. He steps inside. Uh-oh. "You're attempting to deflect suspicion while preparing to leave." Okay. Roll 2d6. Here we go. 7. You've been getting good rolls today. You don't rush it. You just turn enough, casually, mildly annoyed in that bureaucratic way. "Yeah, minor duplication glitch. I normalized it. Running routine checks. I was just stepping out for a stim." Halvik watches you for a long second, then, "Don't take long." He moves past you toward the terminal, already pulling up the audit logs. Not suspicious enough to stop you, not trusting enough to ignore you. As you step into the corridor, you get out clean, but Halvik is actively reviewing your work right now. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay. The corridor. The administrative corridor stretches ahead, clean and quiet, lined with identical doors. At the far end, a service lift, marked for maintenance and sublevel access. Beyond that, somewhere below, B7. Behind you, through the closing door, Halvik begins typing. Let's go straight to the service lift? Or should we just... Let's see, we got head straight for the service lift, move casually, avoid attention, check for cameras or surveillance, or circle to the stairs via B2, as Lyra suggested.
I think I would avoid the stairs altogether. I mean, the lift altogether. Take the
Okay,
stairs.
take the stairs. Okay,
Yeah.
hi, Tom. We're trying to, we
There we
found
go.
some, hello, we found
Hey
some
there.
falsified documents in the
Mhm.
cargo records during our bureaucratic job, and we got flagged as being nosy, and now our supervisor came in and they're at our terminal, and we found an anomaly in another section. We're trying to sneak away. Our coworker is in on it, so they're covering for us at the moment.
Well, that's good.
So we're trying to figure out, do we want to head straight to the service lift, which is going to take us to section B7, which is where we detected our records anomaly? Um, should we just stroll along to avoid attention? Should we check for cameras and surveillance, or should we circle to the stairs via B2, which is what our coworker suggested? Or we can do something else. These are just the suggested actions.
I guess the circle of stairs would be the better one.
I suppose. Anybody have any other? We're going by committee. All right, we're going to do the stairs. Circle to the stairs. Okay. You turn away from the service lift and head down a side corridor marked Sublevel Access Authorized Personnel. The lighting dims slightly as you descend toward B2. Less traffic, fewer terminals, more maintenance signage. Good, quieter, but not unobserved. A camera dome sits at the corner ahead, lazily sleeping the hallway. You're attempting to move through monitored space without drawing attention. Skill Stealth Untrained. Uh-oh. This is very cool. This is our first untrained skill roll. Okay. We could instead use admin, look like we belong, use electronics to spoof timing or blind spot. Let's go with the sneak just to see what happens if we fail. Since this is our first penalty roll. Okay. A 9. Oh, failure, effect -2. You time your movement with the camera sweep, but you misjudge the rhythm. Damn it! For a split second, you're fully in its arc. A soft chime sounds behind you. Not loud, not an alarm, but logged. You keep walking. Don't stop. Don't look back. The corridor opens into a stairwell access marked B2. Nobody's rushing. No alarms, but you've been seen. Your movement is now recorded in security logs. Damn it. Someone reviewing the footage can trace us. All right. Not stopped, but retract. Okay. Damn. The stairwell. The stairwell door closes behind you with a heavy metallic click. Inside, concrete walls, dim strips of lighting, no terminals, no cameras visible. Vertical drop of levels below. Hand stenciled marking. B3, B4, B5, B6, B7. All right. Descend quickly. Pause and listen for pursuit. Check the data pad or prepare for a fallback plan or something else.
I'm wondering if we want to ask Lira for a distraction to buy us more time.
A caller on the communicator or
Well, probably maybe the data pad, something that's not audible.
I try to preface these with GM so it knows that I'm not trying to take a move. I just want to know if I can do something. Yes, but it's not safe. Inside a starport, most messaging routes are monitored, especially between work terminals. Your data pad is likely logged to your identity, so normal message would be traceable. Send directly to your pad, no roll, but it will be logged and timestamped. Good for speed, bad for stealth. Route through systems noise or disguised as routine traffic. Okay, maybe we'll do that. Dead drop, leave a message in a shared queue, audit comment, or file annotation and hope she sees it. Well, maybe since Halvik is busy reviewing our logs, we can. He won't see Lira if we send her a message.
I kind of like the dead drop because we already established that she monitors things.
Right. Okay. Let's do that one. Or I'll just say, I know Lira is monitoring.
I'm smiling because that's a little bit of AI social engineering where you nudge the AI with a known fact so it doesn't forget about it.
Mm-hmm. It's still in the chat history, so that I figured I would explain to it why I know what I know. Context works best for the AI's response. You pause on the landing between B2 and B3, datapad in hand. No network chatter, no cameras, just the faint hum of infrastructure. You craft the message carefully, not a direct transmission, but a system artifact, a minor audit annotation attached to a low priority queue, something Lira will see as part of her normal workflow. Delay Halvik, routine audit escalation, 10 minutes. Looks like a bureaucratic noise, but she'll know. Okay. Admin. We get a +4 on our roll. Nice. Okay. 6. You inject the note cleanly, nested inside a routine audit escalation queue that Lira has to review. It looks dull, procedural, and visible. Exactly right. Cut. Back in the records office. Oh, I like that. Halvik stands over Lyra's terminal. What did Voss flag? Lyra scrolls, control professional, then she pauses. Your message sits there. Just another workflow item. She clicks it. A flicker of recognition, then, oh, this. She pulls up a secondary screen. Cross-system duplication cascade. It's been recurring. I was about to escalate it. If we log it wrong, it kicks back from Central. Halvik frowns. How long? 10 minutes, maybe more, depend if Central pings back. A beat, he exhales. Fine. Do it properly. Back to you in the stairwell. Your data pad remains silent. No confirmation, but no alarms. No footsteps. I like the meanwhile. All right. We'll likely have 10, 15 minutes. All right. The stairwell stretches downward. Each level grows quieter. B3, B4, B5. By B6, the lighting flickers. The air smells faintly of ozone and dust. The markings for B7 is barely visible. Scratch as if someone tried to remove it. The door at B7. No standard access panel. No visible terminal. Just a reinforced hatch with a manual override. Examine the door closely. Try to open it manually. Scan datapad for hidden systems, or listen, or something else.
Hey, Tom, you want to make the call on this one?
Yeah, Tom, we've been playing it for an hour. Why don't you take some turns?
Oh, great. Fresh eyes. Out of all the skills, though, which one's going to be our best chance? Ah,
We've got admin, advocate, computers, investigate, carouse.
what were we needing to do?
So we're doing this audit, and we set a trap in this cargo manifest to see if anybody would access it, and if they did, it would give us a warning. Like, we put our own trace on it, and we got a ping from down here in this old abandoned section. So, and at just that moment, our supervisor came in and was like, "What's going on here?" And he's auditing our terminal right now, so he's might find out what we were snooping. Um, and meanwhile, our coworker's covering for us, and we're off to find out what is down here on B7 that's been obscuring these cargo records.
I think it'd be a good
Let
chance
me
to try
restate the
electronics to
mission.
bypass the door. Okay.
You were assigned a routine cargo audit. You discovered a falsified shipment record repeated across multiple systems using high-level credentials with a consistent 17-second data gap. A deliberate manipulation inside the Imperial bureaucracy. We've learned that the anomaly occurs regularly. Others who investigated were removed or disappeared. Our trap that we set triggered an immediate hidden response, which traced to archive node B7. Current situation, we're off-grid at the entrance to B7. We have 10 to 15 minutes before scrutiny escalates. The actions are already partially logged, and we're operating without backup. Our primary objective right now, access archive node B7 and uncover what is altering the records. Our secondary objectives, gather evidence of corruption, identify who or what is responsible, avoid being detained, discredited, or disappeared. We're inside an active conspiracy embedded in the Imperial system. All right. Our immediate problem, the B7 door has no standard access interface, is intentionally hidden, and likely requires technical, physical, or knowledge of its operation. So how are we going to get inside? Do we want to inspect the door?
Yeah, I think inspecting it would be best to determine. I don't think physical is going to be the option, though.
Sealed archive hatch. You step closer to the door, slowing your breathing, letting your eyes adjust to the dim light. The hatch is wrong for this level. Not just reinforced, repurposed. The frame doesn't match the surrounding wall. The seams are slightly uneven, like it was installed after the structure was built. You crouch, running your fingers along the edge. There, a hairline gap near the lower hinge. Not damage intentional. Faint scoring marks around the seam. Repeated use. This door opens manually, but only if you know how. All right. Investigate. We're at a +3. 11. Wow, we've had really good fortune. We only had one failure so far.
Don't say that. The computer can hear you.
The door isn't just modified, it's camouflaged as obsolete infrastructure. You trace the scoring marks again. Not random, a pattern. 3 pressure points along the frame. Lower hinge, mid-right panel, upper frame. You press lightly, nothing. Then you notice the wear direction. It's not a press, it's a sequence. Slide, hold, release. You test it slowly. Slide along the lower seam. Hold at the midpoint. Release near the top. A soft internal click, then a low mechanical thunk echoes inside the wall. A concealed manual override system disengages. The door was designed to avoid electronic detection, bypass system logs, and be opened only by someone who knows the trick. Additional discovery. Oh, because we got a high effect bonus.
Ah.
With your high success, you notice one more thing inside the seam, a faint residue. Metallic, burn scorching. The door has been opened recently and possibly frequently. The hatch shifts slightly outward. A narrow gap opens beyond darkness and the faint hum of active systems. All right. Unknown system entities. Still, time limit still active. All right. The door is open just enough to slide inside. No light, no sound. Should we go in there with a... Okay, we don't have a light. We might have I think there's a flashlight on our data pad like how there is on a phone.
That's possible. Are we worried about anything seeing our light as we sneak in?
I don't know. Are we? I'm afraid of not seeing what's in there myself.
Well, there's that. I would say
Let's see
use
if
the
there was
light on the
something.
data pad. I mean, even with our phone, the light's not that great. Give you at least an idea of where you're stepping into.
Right. Let's go back to what our inventory was here. Datapad, credentials, fine clothing, credits. Okay, if the datapad has comms tools, then it probably has a flashlight. Because it has a flash, I think. That's my... Let's ask the GM. Datapad. All right, good. Datapad absolutely has a light source. Integrated screen and illumination and focused emitter. Functions as a low-power flashlight inspection light. Standard feature for field or admin use. No role required. But you can see clearly inside B7, spot hazards, terminals, and people, but lights is visible from the inside. Could reveal your position. Okay, well, let's go with low beam. Or we could take a picture and then scrutinize the picture. That way there's only a flash of light, but that might be more noticeable than like a beam we can control.
I think the low
Are we
beam would probably be
overthinking it?
better. Like you said, the flash would be a little bit bright and give people more notification that somebody's up to something.
Good point. All right, let's turn on the flashlight.
I see the flashlight has angered the dogs.
Yes. I can't tell if there's thunder or just trucks rolling by. Scene, first light. You ease the hatch open just enough to slip through, then thumb your data pad to a low glow. The narrow cone of soft light spills into the darkness, just enough. The room is larger than expected, an old data archive chamber, stripped of standard interfaces, no terminals, no displays, walls lined with sealed data vault panels, thick cabling running along the ceiling, newer than the room. Your light catches the floor, scuff marks recent, frequent. Then, at the far end of the room, a single active console, dimly lit in standby mode. Not Imperial standard. Okay, this node is running independently. Determine what this thing is doing. Okay, the door closes softly behind you. All right. Approach the active console, examine the cabling, search the room for other access points, or listen for movement. See, I'm dumb. I'm the first one to go, hello?
I'm always a skittish one. I'd be examining for cables or tripwires.
Oh, here's something cool. Now, we could run this also on like Notebook LM, but there's a limitation on Notebook LM, which is this. It doesn't produce images the last time I checked. And we can ask here, create an image from the point of view of our character.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Oh yeah, not creepy at all.
Not creepy at
Very
all.
nice.
Let me see if I can get that bigger for us there. I'll next time I run the OBS, I'll have it a little bit more zoomed in. I wanted to
That is
include the side panel over here. Normally, I just get
Mhm.
this center part where the text is, and I blow it up to fill this area. But there were some other controls I wanted to show. So,
Oh, that's an awesome
all right,
image, though.
yeah, it is. All right. So, what do we do? You want to listen? Your dim movement, holding the data pad low, light angled towards the floor. You stop, breathe, listen. Roll 2d6.
Ooh.
6.
Yeah, we got a plus there.
Uh-oh. Something. You're not alone. You can't point exactly where, but the sound came from the right side of the console area just beyond the edge of the light. Great. The room is silent. Your light barely reaches the console. Beyond it, darkness. Something is there, waiting. Call out? Shift position? Bring the light up to reveal them? Or retreat towards the door, or approach slowly, or something else?
I think approach slowly.
Approach slowly. You shift your weight carefully, keeping the data pad low, light grazing the floor instead of projecting forward. One step, then another. The cables overhead creak faintly as the building settles. Move closer to the console, slow, deliberate. You're attempting to approach without provoking or revealing yourself. Uh-oh. Stealth again at -3. Damn it. All right. We're not good at being stealthy. Ay,
No.
ay. Step on a cat's tail.
And he catches fire.
Your foot catches a loose cable. A sharp scrape echoes across. Too loud, too sudden. The darkness near the console shifts fast. A silhouette rises from behind the terminal. A voice, low and controlled. Stop. A small light flicks on, not bright, just enough to outline them. A person in civilian clothes, standing between you and the console. They're already facing you. One hand is near the console, the other hand not visible. We're about 6 meters away, low light. Don't know if he has a weapon. An unknown individual. Blocking access to the console with possibly a weapon. Okay. They shift slightly, angling their body. Turn the light off slowly. Okay. What do we do? Comply?
I think
Speak and diffuse?
we should totally BS this. Tell them they've been compromised and they have 5 minutes to evacuate.
Well, that's not bullshit though, because our supervisor is actively auditing our terminal right now.
Well,
Yeah.
that's against us, not against him.
That's true. Well, he might find the same thing we found.
Well, we know he's the guilty party. But will he fight like a cornered rat, or will he cut his losses?
Okay.
I think we can socially engineer this.
All right. Clumsy fingers. All right.
Where would we live without spell check?
Your voice cuts through the dim space, measured, bureaucratic, certain. Your activities have been detected. My supervisor is auditing my terminal now. If I found evidence of your activity, he surely will. The figure doesn't move at first. Then, a slight tilt of the head. Not fear, assessment. Uh-oh. Roll 2d6.
Of course.
Silence, then a quiet exhale. Not fear, amusement. The figure shifts slightly, stepping just enough into the dim light for you to see their face. Calm, focus, certain. No, they said evenly, he won't. The NPC, their hand moves, not for a weapon, for the console. A command is entered. The hum deepens. Behind you, a faint mechanical sound from the door. Not opening, locking.
Oops.
You're late, the figure says, or early, hard to tell anymore. A beat, but you weren't supposed to come down here. You are now trapped in B7, facing someone who understands the system, likely dealing with someone inside the conspiracy. Do we switch approach? Truth and negotiation? Press them with logic? Ask direct questions? Try to move toward the console? Or attempt to escape? The figure watches you steadily. Who sent you? I'm enjoying this. This is some of the best stuff I've seen coming from the AI actually.
This is some great interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting the bureaucrat to be a tense story.
Right. Who knew doing an audit would be so scary? Okay, so who sent us? What do we tell them?
Maybe press with logic.
Okay, what do we do? What do we say?
Convince him that the gig is up and he needs to, I guess, come right with it.
Or are we? Is he saying our supervisor's in on the conspiracy?
Well, that's a good question right there. We don't know who else is in the conspiracy, do we?
Mm-mm.
We might be able to bluff him though with that logic.
Oh, one weird thought, depending on how your character operates, you can say you want in on the action.
Okay.
That's a nice option.
Okay. You don't push authority, you pivot. I work for myself, you say evenly. I want in on the action. The figure goes still, not suspicious, interested. All right. Roll.
Nice.
Ooh, +5 effect. Silence stretches, then a slow exhale. The tension shifts. The figure relaxes slightly. Not safe, but no longer hostile. You set the hook, they say, nodding faintly. That audit ripple, clever. A beat. You shouldn't have survived that. They step fully into the dim light now. No weapon visible, professional, controlled. Not military, not corporate security, something else. They tap the console again. The hum stabilizes. The door behind you remains locked, but no longer actively cycling. You don't get in, they say. You either understand what this is, or you become part of the cleanup. They gesture toward the console. Those records you found, they're not theft. They're corrections. Okay. System's intentional. Falsified records are deliberate corrections. The person is part of the system, not guarding it. Okay. They look directly at you. If you're serious, they tap the console again. The screen flickers to life. Data stream scrolling in patterns you don't immediately recognize. Then ask the right question. Corrections to what? Who authorized this? What happens to the shipments? What am I looking at? Use admin or advocate framing to analyze the system. What do you do? We could ask, or we could just use our own analysis to look at what's on the screen.
Yeah, in the beginning of everything, did we get enough information to be able to farm the information or know enough about the admin to be able to make a correct
No, we just found
scientific
these.
wild ass guess?
Well, we found these cargo manifest entries all simultaneously showing up in the same system at the same time instead of and then like there was always a 17-second delay between that and the next time they were scanned. We're not sure like what was causing that. But the cargo has no origin. Let me see. What do I remember about the cargo manifest?
That'd be a GM question.
Started this, yeah. All right.
When you're under pressure.
Ooh.
I have a mind
Apparently
like
that's
a
the key.
steel trap.
Mine's like a steel sieve.
It was marked processed, transferred, and exported simultaneously. The origin field was not blank, it was redacted, I guess. The system didn't error, it accepted the contradiction. The system wasn't broken, it was overridden to accept it. The record isn't hiding the cargo, it's replacing one version of events with another. What didn't fit? You remember now. This was no inbounds, no mass reading, no customs intake. The system just said processed. Whatever the system is doing, it's not smuggling, theft, or misreporting. It's rewriting the official story of cargo movement. Look at the operator. Now you understand enough to ask the right question. The strongest move is, what are you replacing? Well, what shall we ask?
I would say ask, what are you replacing?
It better not be dogs.
Those dogs are Varger.
Let's see. You meet their gaze. What are you replacing and why? The operator goes still, then a slow nod. Good, they say quietly. You're actually looking. They turn slightly, gesturing to the console. Streams of cargo data resolve into layered overlays, multiple versions of the same shipments. You see it now. One version, the official record. Another, raw intake data. A third, something else entirely. They tap once. One shipment splits into two timelines. In one, routine cargo transfer. In the other, flagged, quarantined, never released. We're not replacing cargo. We're replacing outcomes. Certain shipments can't be allowed to exist in the official system. They arrive, they're processed, they're real. Then they're removed from the record. The operator studies you because if they don't get removed, a flicker of something concerned, calculation, they trigger responses higher up in the chain than you or I want to deal with. Could be containment of dangerous goods, a cover-up of illegal material, suppression of something. The operator leans slightly closer. You got this far, so I'll give you a choice. Walk away and this becomes someone else's problem, or a tap on the console, a new data set appears live. You help us decide what stays real. What kind of shipments? Who is higher up? What do I get? Show me one. What do we do?
I think this character would probably, since they wanted in, probably wants to improve the system so other people don't see those glitches.
Or
Good
see
point.
the evidence of what's being replaced to know whether we can improve it or what the next step is, get us more information.
Should we ask what kinds of shipments and what do I get?
That'd be a good thing. And hopefully he would look at us and say, okay, then you're in it for self-interest. You're not, I guess, trying to be a hero.
I can offer my bureaucratic skills, but first I need to know what kind of shipments and what's in it for me. The operator watches you for a long moment, then they nod once. They turn the console towards you. Fair. A command runs, the data reorganizes. 3 records appear. Medical relief containers. Declared vaccines, emergency supplies. Actual genetically unstable biomaterial. Uh-oh.
Ooh. Removed from record.
Yep. Industrial components. Declared reactor shielding. Actually, unregistered high-density isotopes. Delivered. Erased from manifest. Sealed diplomatic freight. Classified diplomatic cargo. No corresponding physical intake exists. A gap. A perfect match to what you saw. That is what we saw earlier. These aren't smuggling operations. They're discrepancies between what should exist and what does exist. They tap the screen. A third record flickers. For some shipments, the question isn't what's inside. It's why did it arrive at all? They turn back to you. Help us manage this quietly, and you get access to restricted administrative layers, immunity from routine audits on oversight, control over selected records and outcomes, and opportunities, the kind your current position will never give you.
Ooh.
Okay, this is illegal, powerful, and dangerous. Okay. The operator is now in recruiting mode. Okay, new information. Shipments include biohazards, isotopes, and anomalies. Some cargo may not physically exist. All right. The operator folds their arms. So, are you an auditor, or do you want to start editing the ledger?
Yeah, this is total bureaucratic power play stuff. So that seems like right up, the PC's wheelhouse.
That is thunder, so I live in a third world country, New Mexico, so I might lose power or internet at any moment.
Oh boy.
And that's under regular conditions. It's okay, Junior. Don't be scared.
I would tossed up between asking deeper questions before committing or just plain accepting them. are joining.
Let's just join. What the heck?
Yeah. That also opens up further adventures for this character.
No harm ever came from reading a book.
Or editing it.
This is the side of the docks you never see.
Okay, the Freckles might have to stop and take care of the dogs here. I'll try to take it till another 20 minutes.
Okay.
All right. They turn back to the console. The operator studies you one last time, then a small decisive nod. They turn back to the console. Then we start now. A new interface unfolds. Clean, structured, familiar, but deeper. Layers beneath the normal Imperial systems. You already understand the surface, they say. Your job is simple. A dataset highlights. Incoming discrepancy pending resolution. Your first job. A live shipment record appears. Declared agricultural equipment. Scan data incomplete. Mass readings present. Origin valid. Timestamp drift 17 seconds, the same pattern. And then a second layer appears. Hidden. Alternate outcome. Quarantine and seizure. Override status awaiting decision. Your role. The operator steps back slightly. You decide which version becomes real. Uh-oh. We have to choose which version is recorded. The real or the alternate. Resolve discrepancy. First assignment. Okay. Console awaits. 2 outcomes. Only one will be made real. Accept official record. Let the shipment pass. Or apply alternate outcome. Quarantine and seize. What do you think we should do? This one's easy, they say. I do like how they're keeping that guy in character.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind those like reiteration, like status updates. They seem to be keeping the story on track, and we can kind of just skip over them if we want. So what are we going to do here? I think the goal is to do this.
Yeah,
Prove that
sounds
we're
like all the
willing
rest of
to
them have been replacing
edit
that
the
outcome.
ledger. Yeah. You don't hesitate. You select the alternate layer. The console pauses. Not lag evaluation. All right. Roll investigate. I mean admin. All right. 10.
There you go.
I'm going to bureaucracy the heck out of this thing. All right. You confirm for a moment, nothing happens. Then the system reconciles. Data streams collapse into single version. Cargo flag. Security intervention logged. Transfer halted. Chain of custody established. A deeper layer flickers just for a second. You catch it because you're looking for it. Raw intake data stabilizes. Whatever discrepancy existed is no longer active. The operator exhales, subtle but real. Good. You saw it. That one was real, they say. Dangerous. Shouldn't have passed initial screening. You prevented escalation. You realize now the system is not arbitrary. It's resolving contradictions between what entered reality and what should be allowed to persist. All right. The operator is approving. The operator leans against the console. You're useful, they say. Another data set begins to load. More complex, less obvious. All right. Act 2 begins. That answered a question earlier of will the AI have a plan, and how will it know when we go to the next act. All right. Declared empty cargo container. Scan data confirms empty. The mass reading is non-zero. No interior space detected. The operator glances at you. This one's harder. Analyze carefully, ask questions, or make a call immediately compared to a previous pattern. While you guys discuss the move, I'm going to refill my drink. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
I'll be carried safely on a wave of dogs.
There you go.
As they guide me safely to the coffee. All right, go ahead, Freckles. You go first.
Nowhere without Dad if it's thundering.
Oh, yeah. Well, my doggies are cowards. I have to give them calming treats if the weather goes south. Well,
Yeah.
I think this one definitely should leverage our skills, because literally that's why we're here, because of our skills. So I think analysis is needed.
Yeah, definitely leverage what we already know and then work that skill to see what the proper path's going to be. I think it'd be a little premature to make the call immediately.
Totally agree with that.
Well, this is very interesting. I'm very upset that I missed the first hour.
It's kind of funny because when we made the initial pitch, I said, let's go with a bureaucrat or a scientist instead of a combat monster. And then as we were writing that up, the AI literally said, this is not a combat monster. So it's like, it's listening.
It's listening. All right. So I heard you when I was in the other room. So you want to analyze or ask questions?
I'm is listening. I say analyze carefully.
Okay.
Since
Easier
this is
than
more
typing?
difficult or harder, I think we need more information.
Learn the system's rules without making a fatal mistake. He's currently watchful and approving. I do like these, like this. It's very cool. All right. What this is kind of like this is housekeeping, so that this I think is why it's not drifting off track too far. So it's remembered everything we've asked so far because it's
Keeping it
carrying
in
a lot of
current
this
memory.
information forward. Yeah. Because it can't write to a document, and the only memory it has is the chat context. So old chats are falling off the back, and if we ask about that stuff after it's gone, the AI doesn't know and makes up some new stuff. But so far, this has been sticking to,
Sticking to the script.
yes, it hasn't drifted at all. Okay, you lean in and study the new record instead of guessing. Declared empty, confirmed empty, mass present, no interior space. This is not ordinary fraud. It's a contradiction in the physical assumptions behind the manifest. It's a structured forensic read using both your bureaucratic and analytical strengths. Okay, here we go. 6.
Got 8.
I think we got a +3.
+2 or +3 there?
+3.
Yeah, +3.
I mean, you slow down and work it like an audit problem. Declared empty, scans empty, yet mass exists. You pull up cross references looking for procedural miscalibrated sensors. Nope. Hidden compartments. Impossible. Data desync. No timing drift beyond the standard anomaly of that 17 seconds. This isn't smuggling or sensor failure. An object that exists without containing anything. You don't understand why, but you do understand. It violates expected rules. It passes through normal systems. It's exactly the kind of thing the system was designed to intercept. The operator watches you think. You're circling it, they say quietly. Don't overthink the physics. Think like an auditor. From a bureaucratic perspective, the shipment is non-compliant with reality, impossible to classify safely, not something that should propagate further into the system. Okay, two options remain on the console. Accept official record, empty container, or apply alternate outcome, quarantine and seize. This one doesn't explode, but it spreads. What do you do? If you hesitate, I can give 2 or 3 grounded options. Let's wait for Tom to return. So far, do we have any observations or any interesting takes on any surprises, any disappointments?
Actually, I really like what I'm seeing. It's been very consistent and coherent. Uh, Probably the only thing I would like to do as a follow up after the session is see if I can run this under Gemini or Google Flow or some other model that also does projects.
Mm-hmm. You
And
should be able to do anything that lets you, yes, do projects like you can do it in Notebook LM, but you won't be able to like get images out of it. But yeah, anything that can store a prompt as instruction and an uploadable document so you can give it like character sheet or in this case the skill list, um, that will help out. You could even do it on GPT just regular by submitting the prompt followed by the skill sheet just in the prompt field, as 2 different entries. And then as long as it can remember, you might have to re-inject those periodically, but
mhm.
um, that's what you get on the free. But you can still do it, and still get a lot of play out of it before it starts drifting. One of the things that's really fascinating to me is emergent behaviors, like things that I just didn't expect it to do, or in one of these, we were running like a James Bond scenario, and my character like snuck into the enemy base, or was it? No, didn't sneak in the enemy base. Was at the hotel or something, and trying to hack into the enemy's computer, and the the GM was like telling me like you type in this, you type in that, and it's like all these they were actual like Linux commands, and I don't know if they were actual like Linux hacking commands, but yeah, it looked like it was really hacking. They were trying to hack the enemy computer. It was really weird, but those kinds of things fascinate me when I see it take a unexpected turn. Instead of just saying, you hack the system, it said you put in the following commands. Or whatever. It's like, oh,
I actually like that. It makes it feel more grounded.
it does. It made it feel more real. It didn't but I have to tune that because, GPT has a filter against violence. And
Mhm.
so it was very, it didn't like it when I was like sneaking up behind enemy agents and growing and then, or like dragging. I pull out I have a Garou in my watch and drag him, back and hide their body in the elevator shaft or whatever. And the AI was like, I cannot do that. I was like, okay, I subdue the enemy with a karate chop. And and drag him into the maintenance closet or something. You know, there was I was James Bond without kill. I had no license to kill. I only had license to subdue. Alrighty. Well, what are we going to do here? Are we going to apply the alternate outcome? I'm interested in why are we hiding these things? Like what's going on?
Yeah, that's
Maybe
a
it's
good
better that we
question
don't
to
know,
ask.
you know?
But I definitely think it's for the safety of the Imperium.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, especially since quarantine seizure of something that spreads might be a good idea. But see, he also might be trying to manipulate you because maybe what spreads is information.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. Let's ask him, so do we work for the Imperium or some kind of criminal syndicate? You don't touch the console. Instead, so do we work for the Imperium or some kind of criminal syndicate? The operator watches you. No hesitation this time. Neither. A beat, and then both.
Oh boy.
They turn the console slightly, but not to the data, to you. The Imperium runs on records, they say. Trade, law, identity, everything depends on the system agreeing on what's real. A pause. When something enters the system that shouldn't exist, their eyes flick to the current anomaly. The system doesn't break, it adapts. We're not criminals, they continue. We're not official. We're the layer that keeps contradictions from propagating. What they're saying is the Imperium can't officially acknowledge this work, but it implicitly depends on it, and the operator exists in a gray layer beneath authority. If we stop, the operator says quietly, you don't get corruption, you get collapse. Okay. So this is a shadow stabilization system, not sanctioned, but necessary. NPC's attitude is honest as far as they believe it. Okay. Console continues to display impossible container, mass without contents. Decide, they say. Okay, quarantine.
Sounds like
We're
that's about
supposed
all
to
we
be
can
heroes.
accept.
That's the the refrain of one of my players. And we're playing champions, and he keeps reminding the other people, we're supposed to be heroes.
Big damn heroes.
You don't hesitate this time. Quarantine sees. The console flickers, not like before, slower, heavier. All right, roll a 2d6 to do the cover-up. 7. You commit the action. Quarantine sees. The system resists, not violently, but noticeably. Data doesn't collapse cleanly this time. It argues. For a moment, you see both versions. Empty container? Non-empty container. Flagged and removed. They overlap, contradict. Then the system resolves. Slowly, forcibly. The shipment is quarantined. The contradiction is contained. But the system shows signs of strain. A warning flickers, gone almost instantly. Causal inconsistency threshold exceeded. The operator expression tightens just slightly. Close, they say. Not perfect, but acceptable. This one's just dangerous. This one wasn't just danger, it's a self-propagating inconsistency. It would spread through the systems that rely on physical assumptions. Okay. At this moment, the operator studies you. You're starting to see it, they say. Another data set begins to load, even more complex. Then your data pad vibrates. Incoming message from Lira.
Oops.
Halvik knows something's wrong. Audit locked down. They're tracing system access. Uh-oh. You're now inside the system making changes. The operator glances at your datapad. You brought attention. Show the operator the message, ignore it, and continue working. Ask the operator for protection. Prepare an exit plan. Show the operator the message is my vote. What do you guys think?
Yeah, they might have admin access to squelch it.
I think so. Show them
I'm
the
sorry,
message.
say again? Show the operator the message?
Yes. You're saying they may have additional access to squelch it or...
Oh, yeah, right. Mm-hmm. You turn the datapad and show the message. Halvik's locking down the audit. They're tracing access. The operator reads it. No visible panic, just calculation. They move immediately, faster than before. Hands across the console, new layers of systems unfold. Not audit tools, something deeper. The console shifts to a different mode. Access logs, query trails, identity signatures. Your trail is there. Clear, climbing upward through the system. You're not burned yet, they say, but you will be. They glance at you. You have about 5 minutes before this becomes formal. Break or redirect the trail before Halvik escalates. Shit. The operator steps back slightly. This is where most people fail, they say.
Oh.
Do we use admin to bury or reroute the trail? Our admin's good. We should use that.
That's our
Use
best.
electronics to corrupt. Yeah, that's our best. Use electronics to corrupt or mask the logs. Ask the operator for intervention. Please, we're in over our head already. Abandon the trail and prepare to disappear. I think this one is our best bet.
In addition, if we succeed with that, hopefully he'll see that we're worth the risk.
Yeah, good point. This isn't hacking. This is making the system say something else happened. All right. Okay. He's minutes away from escalation. I do like how they brought this in. Normally in my previous experiments, people haven't, it didn't pay attention to the timer. I'm surprised that these characters from earlier in the story are back. So this seems to be working really good. Okay, you step in beside the operator, not asking permission. This is paperwork warfare. You pull up the audit chain, your query, the anomaly, the system response, all linked, all pointing back to you. You start building a new narrative. Routine audit escalation, cross-system reconciliation, delegated across process authority, deferred supervisor review. You don't erase the trail, you reinterpret it. All right? I'll get a total DM of 3. It's a 6.
Give us a 9.
Buried, not erased. You move fast, threading the audit trail into something that looks routine. Not perfect, but plausible. You reclassify your query as cross-system reconciliation. Attach it to an existing low-priority anomaly cluster. Assign deferred supervisor review. Inject a process delay justification. The system accepts it. Reluctantly, the trail doesn't disappear. It becomes bureaucratically uninteresting. A cut to the records office. Meanwhile, back in the records office, Halvik scans the audit log. Your activity is there, but now it reads routine, boring, already in process. He frowns, scrolls, stops, and then moves on. You're not cleared, but you're no longer priority. Bought time and avoided escalation. The operator watches the final log settle. A slight nod. Messy, they say, but effective. All right. The system hum stabilizes for now. You're in. The operator folds their arms. Now you understand the job. Another data set begins to load, even more complex. Act 2 state, you've arrived. You are now inside the system, making reality decision, balancing truth stability. Continue working, take the next anomaly, ask deeper questions about the system, secure your position, plan long-term strategy. Another contradiction. So somebody's just sitting, this guy's just sitting here like putting fires out. Maybe we should ask why a computer isn't doing this process, or
Sounds like it. Or does it require some kind of human interaction?
Place was going to show up. Say it was the 7th or the 14th.
I thought it was the 16th. Well, actually, a window like 16 to 19. So
Okay, that's full of misspellings, but AI will still figure it out.
sorry.
Oh yeah.
You glance at the console, then back at them. Are you just sitting here answering these anomalies all day? Why not use a robot or an AI agent? The operator actually smiles this time, not amused, but recognizing. We tried. It didn't work.
Oh.
It turned the console towards you again. A new layer appears, tagged. Automation attempts failed. Cases scroll past. Case 12, AI selects pass, anomaly propagates, system instability. Case 19, AI selects quarantine, legitimate shipment erased, economic cascade. Case 27, AI refuses to decide, recursive loop, system stall. They optimize for consistency, for efficiency. They don't understand contradiction. This isn't data processing, it's judgment. It tapped the screen. You're not choosing between correct and incorrect. You're choosing between different kinds of wrong.
Oh.
Nice. AI needs stable rules. They gesture around the room. This place exists because the rules break. It requires a human or near human judgment. Decisions involve trade-offs. Okay. The next anomaly resolves. Well, that answer your question? Yeah. What are the rules I should follow?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm wondering how many people do this.
All right, we'll ask that in the next. The operator, let's see. Yeah, what are the rules I should follow? The operator doesn't answer immediately. Instead, they bring up a new layer. Not data, a list. Sparse, incomplete, annotated. The rules as they are, they gesture to the screen. We don't have many. Contain propagation. If an anomaly spreads, it gets removed. Always. Preserve stability over truth. The system must remain consistent. They glance at you, even if that means the record is wrong. Escalation is failure. If something reaches higher authority, we fail to resolve it quietly. Patterns matter more than instances. 1 anomaly is noise. 2 is coincidence. 3 is a system problem. Never chase the source directly. They look at you more sharply here. That way leads to things we don't control. And then there's an unspoken rule. From everything you've seen, you're not fixing reality. You're maintaining a version that holds together. You'll develop your own heuristics, they say. Everyone does. Some last longer than others. You now understand. Containment, better than truth. Stability, better than accuracy. Silence, better than exposure. The next anomaly finishes loading. This one is different. Declared passenger luggage. Scan normal, mass normal. Owner registered. Everything checks out. Then a second layer appears. Owner appears in 2 locations simultaneously. The operator watches you. This one's yours. No physical contradiction, no cargo anomaly. The person is the inconsistency. Investigate deeper, which is recommended. Quarantine associated cargo, alter the record, or ask questions, or something else.
I do think we need to investigate deeper on that one.
You lean in, ignoring the service data. Everything looks clean, too clean. You start peeling layers: passenger registry, transit logs, biometric hashes, ticketing systems. Okay, it's time to resolve an investigation. Eek.
Oh, ouch.
The operator watches, no hints this time. Dur, 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 dur. You dig into the records, but something about this case resists clean analysis. The data is too consistent. Every system agrees. Identity valid, biometrics match, travel logs legitimate. You tried to reconcile the duplication, but instead of finding the cause, you normalize it. You conclude incorrectly. This is likely a synchronization artifact, a delay between systems resolving identity location. The operator watches your process, says nothing, but their expression tightens just slightly. Because of your misread, you're about to treat a real anomaly as noise. This violates Rule 4. The record flickers. You now see location A, confirmed. Location B, confirmed. Both active, both current. The operator is observing us. Our confidence is slightly reduced. You must decide, accept the record or intervene. The operator finally speaks. Careful, this one isn't what it looks like. Do we reevaluate? Do we ask the operator for clarification? Or apply quarantine conservatively?
What about something different? Alter one of the identity paths so there's only one.
You mean delete one of the, or
Yeah.
combine them?
Yeah, delete or merge.
Yeah, do you want to delete or merge? Any votes for delete? Any votes for merge?
Let's go with delete. One, not both.
Delete. You move decisively. Select the second instance. Delete. The console pauses longer than before. Oh, now we have to roll. Admin 7.
We got 8.
We got 8. Barely holding. You delete the second record. The system reacts. For a moment, both records resist deletion. Like the system doesn't want to choose, then one collapses, the other remains. The duplicate is resolved. The system stabilizes, but only just. A warning flickers, longer this time. Identity coherence violation, resolved, unstable. The operator exhales slowly. That was dangerous. They step closer to the console. You didn't know which one was real. They pull up a hidden layer you missed. For a split second, you see record A, verified origin, record B, no origin, but valid presence. The truth? You didn't delete a duplicate. You chose a version of a person. One version is now no longer exists. If that version had dependencies, they are now broken. All right. The operator looks at you differently now, not dismissive, not approving, assessing. Now you understand the risk. The console flickers again. A new alert appears. Dependency mismatch detected. Cascading review pending. Damn it. Your decision may have triggered broken identity links, missing records, potential escalation upstream. Yikes. Okay, we're going to investigate the cascade, stabilize the system, ask the operator. Maybe we should ask the operator to intervene.
I think stability, since that's one of the principles of this gig.
Okay.
Yeah, that's going to be using our admin skill as well.
Yeah, right. Okay. Damage control. You don't hesitate. You've seen this before, just not at this scale. Not reality breaking, but bureaucratically familiar. You dive into the dependency chain. Travel logs referencing the deleted identity, financial records, security clearances, port authority movements, everything branching from the version you erased. Instead of restoring it, you normalize the absence, reassign timestamps, collapse overlapping references, insert procedural corrections, mark inconsistencies as resolved. You don't fix the truth, you just make it agree with itself. Okay, I have to do another roll. Oh, an 11. We're gonna have a
Power
14.
of paperwork.
The power of paperwork. All right, you move with precision now, not guessing, not reacting, controlling. You don't chase every broken link. You identify the pattern of dependency. Which systems require continuity? And you execute collapse redundant identities, reassign travel logs, convert conflicts. The cascade halts abruptly, cleanly. The warning disappears. Dependency mismatch resolved, then system coherence restored. The operator watches the final state settle. Then a slow nod. Respect. That was correct. What you just did, not just damage control, you rewrote a broken identity across multiple systems into a stable reality. Nice. Your room feels different now, not safer, but aligned. The operator steps beside you, not watching anymore, working with you. You're ready for the real work.
Mm.
All right. A new data set loads, a new anomaly, a cluster, multiple shipments, multiple locations, same 17-second drift, and a shared tag you haven't seen before. Source vector unknown recurring. Identify pattern behind the anomalies. So now are we just stuck in a loop of identifying patterns and or are we learning more, because Act 2 we're going to learn more about what's going on, confront the ultimate bad guy or whatever. However, I set this up for 2 hours and I think we're just about there. I have a game I have to go GM. I will not erase this. I will leave this game so we can continue another time. And if you guys want to take 1 or 2 final moves, we can do that. Or if you have
I think I'd like to ask like an infrastructure question. How many people are working on this? Because it's a 24 hour gig, it seems.
Mm-hmm. A system that never sleeps.
Yeah.
Nobody
you
for
lean
you.
back slightly. I still on the data. How many people are working on this, and when can I take breaks? The operator gives you a look, not annoyed, measured. People? Depends on how you define that. They tap the console. A map appears. Nodes across multiple starports, some active, some dark. Regina, active. You and me. 3 other systems, active nodes, 5 more dormant offline. No central team, they say. No oversight. Just operators where the anomalies appear. You take breaks when the system is quiet. If you leave during a cascade, they glance at the console. You don't come back to the same reality. I'm effectively on call for reality stability.
Wow.
They nod towards the cluster. This isn't a quiet period. No multiple nodes across systems. No centralized authority. Work is reactive and continuous. You can step away, but I wouldn't.
You're in the thick of it, son.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely requires analysis.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Let's go analyze the cluster and see if we can. You stop thinking in single record. Zoom out, cluster view, multiple shipments, multiple locations, same 17-second drift. You begin correlating time, route, registry, looking for what doesn't change. I want to figure out what that 17 seconds represents. We see the system. We see the matrix.
It heard you asking.
You stop looking at shipments. You look at timing. 17 seconds across systems, across worlds, across different cargo types. Impossible unless you overlay jump traffic, navigation logs, starport sync cycles, and then it snaps into place. Every anomaly lines with a specific jump transit window. Not arrival or departure, but transit. Okay. The discrepancies are not originating at the starport. They're entering the system during jump space translation. Console
Interesting.
draws the console. Multiple systems, multiple ships, all intersecting a single invisible corridor. Source vector identified. Anomalies are being introduced during jump transit.
Hmm.
The operator goes very still, then you found it. It's not local corruption, bureaucratic, not smuggling, something interacting with ships between systems. Whoa. The operator turns to you for the first time, uncertain. We don't fix that, they say quietly. We manage what comes out of it. A new alert appears. High density anomaly inbound, multiple vectors. 5 shipments, save transit window, same drift, but this time all arriving within minutes of each other.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. Triage, prioritize which anomalies to handle first. Ask the operator for protocol. Attempt preemptive containment strategy or focus on high-risk shipment.
Hmm.
You don't guess this time. You look at the operator. What do I do? They don't answer immediately. They study the incoming data, then they move. The console splits into 5 parallel tracks, each shipment isolated, each tagged with a risk profile. First rule in a surge, they say, you don't solve everything. They highlight 3 shipments, 2 dim. Triage display, high risk, industrial container, mass fluctuation, structural instability. This one's going to spread fast. This one's going to escalate. High risk, sealed diplomatic cargo, no origin chain. Authority overrides embedded. Are we saying that these like cargoes are appearing in the ships as they're in transit?
I think what's happening is during jump transit, there's chaos in the loop.
In the records or
Yeah.
something?
Well,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, in the system, whether that's the matrix or not, but it's creating inconsistencies between source and destination.
Mm-hmm.
Which 2 anomalies are we going to address?
Well, definitely the high risk triage.
Yeah, I think the 2 top ones, yeah.
Oh, we have an
Industrial and
industrial
diplomatic.
container and a diplomatic. Okay, let's do those. You make the call without hesitation. Industrial, diplomatic. The operator nods once. Good. The console collapses to 2 active threads. The others dim but do not disappear. They're still there waiting. Anomaly 1, industrial container. Declared reactor shielding. Mass fluctuating, structure non-static. Internal scan, inconsistent geometry. This is changing while being observed. If past spreads into infrastructure systems, its quarantine may destabilize locally. Anomaly 2, diplomatic cargo. Declared classified. Authority valid. Origin none. Clearance chain self-referential. Interpretation. This is authority without source. If pass escalates beyond my level, if blocked, may trigger response from above. The operator speaks quietly. Don't treat these as the same. One spreads downward, one spreads upward. Timers appear. You have a limited time. I like this, putting us under time pressure. You must resolve one at a time. Which to handle first?
For the diplomatic one, I think if you restore the custody chain, that will fix it.
Okay.
So it's not
So
self-referential.
Okay. You want to fix the diplomatic one then first?
Sure, that seems easier.
Yeah, and I think instabilities might be easier to handle than escalation. Although instability is a form of escalation on its own, but we don't want authorities coming down on us. Okay. You select the diplomatic cargo. Console deepens. Layers unfolding beneath layers. What you see. Clearance chain referencing itself. Authorization keys validating each other. No originating authority. It's a self-validating. Okay. This one spreads upward, he reminds you. Okay. Roll with a +3, 10. +5 effect, nice. Which you see clearly now. It's not a shipment, it's a claim. Authority referencing authority. Clearance validating itself. A loop with no origin. You don't block it, you don't delete it, you invalidate its scope. Reclassified jurisdiction. Mark authority as non-transitive. Collapse recursive clearance. Result, the record doesn't disappear, it just becomes contained authority with no reach. All right. Authority recursion resolved, no escalation required. The operator lets out a breath. That was right. You didn't fight it, you limited it.
Mm.
You realize some anomalies aren't objects, they're rules pretending to be real. Session state. All right. The console shifts. Only one high-risk anomaly remains. Industrial container. Escalation containment window narrowing. This one spreads. No finesse here. Okay. This one, don't you think?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. You don't analyze further. You don't hesitate. Quarantine sees. The console reacts immediately. Unlike the others, this one pushes back. Oh, damn. 6. Force containment of an unstable anomaly.
Mm.
Just pass it through. Pass it through. Uh-oh.
Violently.
The industrial container doesn't resolve. Instead, it folds. Data representation geometry collapses. Mass reading spike, then drops. Structural mapping tear. For a moment, you see it. Not cargo, not material. Something that doesn't map cleanly to space. Then, you force the containment layer to close. The anomaly is contained. Spread is stopped, but containment is unstable. Containment achieved. Structural coherence degraded. The operator steps forward immediately, locking in secondary constraints. Hold it there, he says. Don't let it re-resolve. They stabilize the containment boundary, then step back. All right, you prevented spread, but the system now holds a contained instability that might need future attention. All right, you chose correctly twice.
Yay.
Yay! You survived a surge. You're now proven under pressure, trusted inside the system. All right, the operator folds her arm. Now you understand why we don't take breaks. All right, guys, let's call it here.
Take a break.
You take a break.
Yeah, let's take a break. Until next time, let's have a little discussion on what do you think it was good at and what do you think it was not good at, and was anything surprising or disappointing? Let's start with the good stuff.
Okay, I thought it was really consistent, keeping characters in the loop and not forgetting about them.
Mhm.
It seemed really good at making it feel tense, even though we were working as an administrator.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
Good use of timing on that.
Mm-hmm. I like how it kept track of the NPCs and their attitudes and your boss who's like following you around and auditing your station and stuff, and like warning you the boss is on his way and stuff. That was pretty cool. And it actually kept track of time and or at least simulated it, because there was a few rounds before the supervisor showed up between when we
Mhm.
were warned he was coming. So that was kind of cool. What about you, Andrew? You just agree? Okay.
Well, I was surprised how well it kept up with things as far as not letting it fall out of the memory and keep things going and relevant rather than start hallucinating or forgetting things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kept. Let's do a final check and look at our character sheet and see if it remembers the original mission. Okay, that looks like it's steady.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it's still the same. Secure data pad. Oops,
Partially
partially
exposed in the
exposed. That's
logs.
changed. This is all the same inventory. Here's our contacts, the clerk, the B7 operator, the audit manager, suspicious covert ally actively helping. These are all great. This is all correct.
Mm-hmm.
We have effectively gained reality mediation.
Now we're working for the Reality Bureau.
Mm-hmm. You're now part of a distributed hidden system. Anomalies originate from jump space. Your node is reactive, not in control. You successfully handled containment, escalation suppression, and cascade repair. Maintain system stability, current scene. This all looks good. What do you have any do you see any like shortcomings or something that bothered you, didn't work the way you expected maybe?
Actually, I don't have a lot of negative things. My number one concern was there going to be any dialogues, or was it just going to be a stream of dice rolls? But it seemed to handle that very well. It felt like the character was interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Good responses back too when we commented or said something that wasn't quite on track with what it was suggesting.
Mm-hmm. What about let's see. Well, Andrew's pointing out it seems to be doing a better job of keeping track of stuff than in previous efforts, which is correct. And I think that boils down to kind of summarizing things with bullets. That keeps the chat history trimmed down to an extent and just retains all the important information. I think that's why it's been carrying that stuff forward. So yeah, cool. Well, I thank you all for showing up and participating in this hangout and experiment with me. And I hope you guys will come back the next time we have another one. And again, thanks for joining this community and being active members. I super appreciate it.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And
Looking
if
forward
there's
to it.
no, yeah, great. Make sure if you have any some of you have been really good about this, Todd especially, just sending me messages on the side. It would be cool if we did this, or it would be cool if we did that. I don't know what my dog's involved.
I'm learning quite a bit. I'm actually enjoying the whole environment with the school and all that.
Yeah, cool. I'm glad. I wanted people to find value here, and the way people act about, if you are somebody who use AI, you're tainted, and it's hard to just
Mm-hmm.
have conversations about it out in the world without somebody trying to tell us, we're burning down the world or whatever. I don't know if we are or not, but that's not for me to solve the answer to.
Well, it's
It's
definitely Pandora's box, one way or the other. We can either just ignore it and hope it goes away, or try to control and understand what's actually happening. The
right.
the company I work for is a bigger government contractor, and they are recently getting into AI more thoroughly, and making sure that our goals are saying, okay, now think how you can bring AI to the company.
Hmm.
So,
Right. And it has its limitations and it's not correct a lot, but as long as you're a subject matter expert and use it as an assistant, you can double check its work and see what it's doing
mhm.
wrong and help it
And don't
figure it
blindly
out and
take
give
its
you
response.
right. I've as a one man show, I found it super useful as like a sounding board or what do you think of this? Or let's go help me research this information. Let's sort this stuff. It's in those respects super, super useful. It is
Mhm.
wrong a lot. So, it's more of a helper than a manager. It's more of an assistant, right?
Definitely have to keep looking at it.
Right. Make sure it stays on track. All right, but we're learning about this and exploring and figuring it out together. So thanks for joining me on this journey. And until next time, guys, I'll catch you around the school group. And thanks again.
All right. The schoolyard.
The schoolyard, right?
Take care, guys.